Hey everyone, it's time for another video. Hope everyone's fine. Today we're going to have random tool comments about this Wera 2020 Easter Egg, I guess special, what have you. This is apparently the second year they've done this. You know, Wera is well known for their advent calendar that they put out every year. I picked up one of those. You know, somebody might say, okay, great. You know, the advent calendars are great. Villa has a good one. Hotsit's put out one. Some others have as well. So Wera, I guess, has decided to start doing these Easter eggs. Now, I normally wouldn't buy the set they have this year. It's a kind of a screwdriver bit set. They have some micro bits and they have some regular bits, 1/4-inch hex power bits. And I'll get to all that in a second. But there's a reason why I bought this, because there's something in it that I'm very curious about, and I think, based on some research and stuff I've done, which I'll talk about in a bit, that it is something I'm very interested in. So, let's see, let's get into it. Let's talk about this for a bit. So this is the Easter Egg 2020 from Wera. This is the painted bunny. I didn't do the Tool Rebel, because I think I might give this to one of my kids. They might like it. The part number is 134214. The manufacturer part number is 051342140001. Lots of digits. And you can see all of it on here. So I picked this up at KC Tool. You know, they have some left over from last year, so I don't know that these things sell out a lot or sell very fast, considering they have some left over from last year's Easter. So I'm sure Easter's rolling up here pretty quick. So I'm pretty sure that if you feel like it, you can pick them up. I paid about 49 bucks. If you want the free shipping, I'd say you throw in something really cheap. I don't know, a pencil, a pen, something like that. And then you can go $50 and you can get the free shipping. I'll include a link, of course, to this. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here's the box. It's plain, it's white. There's really not much to it. Let's open it up, take a look. I have actually not opened this, so I don't really know, other than I know that there's a painted egg, which is this. Not much else in the box. So you got your painted egg. It's plastic wrapped. Well, it's got a little plastic here. It's paper. And then, of course, you got your little rabbit there. Let me do some focusing here for a second. Make sure everybody's good. There it is. With the rather large Wera egg. I don't know. Maybe this is supposed to be Peter Rabbit or Easter Bunny. What have you. Anyway, pretty straightforward. You know, there's not really much to it. It's the package itself is about 8 inches long by about 5 inches wide. Diameter isn't quite exact. No, it's about 5 inches in diameter. So let's see if I can get this thing off without too much effort, or yeah, I don't know, maybe it's not going to work out too well. So a little plastic thing around it, and poof, there it is. It's open. And split the halves apart. And of course we have our ubiquitous pieces that Wera usually provides us. So not much else in it. Give it to my kids, say, here you go, have fun, play with it, burn it. No, that's not a nice thing to say. Just play with it, enjoy it. So here's the kit, of course, as you would expect. And in this case, since it's a set, Wera usually includes a wonderful textile case, which I'll show some things about that in a minute. Of course, you have your brochure with a variety of different languages. Okay, they talk about liability and so on and so forth. Anyway, characteristics. Yeah, anyway, okay. And then, of course, you have your Velcro. So, you know, the idea is with their to-go system, you have, you know, Velcro on the back and the front, the hook and loop. And then if you want to go and mount this on something, you stick it, since it sticks, and you put this on it. So that's that. You know, we've all seen this. We all know it pretty well. There's a bunch of things that are in it. Let's open it up here. Of course, it's in a nice set. And let's see what we got here. We have 8 micro bits, and then we have 5 power bits, and we have 2 handles. We have the handle, which this is what I'm very curious about, and then we have this little thing, which I've seen before. I mean, okay, it's handy, I guess. I'm going to talk about this later on in some other video. I'm going to talk about bit holding, or bit holders, I guess, because I've got a bunch of them, and I picked up a number of them over the years and whatnot. So the other thing that's interesting is this thing. Now, this is actually the primary reason why I bought this kit. So the German Tool Reviews guy had covered the 2017 Wera Advent Calendar. One I sadly missed because that was a phenomenal set. You can go back and look at videos. In fact, you can watch his excellent review about it. I'll put a link in the description about that. But one of the things that Wera has is, of course, they do have a lot of bits, and they have their own screwdrivers and stuff. You know, a variety of different things like nuts and torques and so forth. Let me pull out another one to show you. Here is a 4mm hex, and just to give you an idea that this is basically a bit holder that's in that same handle form. So what's interesting about these is Wera's done a very good job with their handle based on what I've seen on the internet and other people in their comments, and I like the way this feels. The problem is these things are expensive. Sure, you can buy a whole ton of them. You can buy sets and you can pay an arm and a leg for them, but the reality is, who really needs that? I mean, there's an argument for it. It's not for me, though, but for other people, they can certainly say, no, you're wrong. I need that, and that's fine. You're right. Maybe you need that, but I don't. I don't need a whole bunch of drivers. I don't need to pay that kind of money for it. So I haven't really focused on that. I focused on bit sets, and I have some good ones. And in fact, I'm going to have a video about those as well as bit holders in another video. But part of the reason why this thing is so special is because it is not one of their standard micro bit holders that they have. Wera sells 2 different types of micro bits. They sell what they call their half moon, which I don't remember, that might be proprietary just to them. I'm not sure about that. And they have what they also call their HIOS. And to give you an idea of how those work, a normal bit, and in fact, let me make sure, yes, as I expected, these are, the profile in these are just straight hex. It's just like a standard hex bit that you would see. But the half moon is similar, except it's got kind of like a cutout. So, though I think it's more round, honestly. It's more like this. But it's only to them. And then the HIOS, I think, and this could be wrong, is more like this. And it's basically just their bit profiles where that they do is they keep them so that they can have, I guess, better engagement between the bit and the holder itself. But the problem with those bits are they don't work with a standard micro bit, a 4mm bit from, say, VHA or some of the other manufacturers have. I think Philo may have some too. And Wera doesn't sell, normally they don't sell a bit holder that holds standard 4mm bits. They only sell a bit holder for the half moon, and they also sell one for the HIOS only. So, you have their wonderful handle, but the problem is you can't use bits. So if you go back and you look at the GTR review and look at the comments he made, this bit holder, which is this one, and I was made sure I thought it was, but it's called the 822 microbit handle. If you go look at Wera's catalog, you will not find this. If you search all over the internet, you will only get hits for this kit or the GTR review, where he reviewed the 2017 Advent Calendar. So this isn't something Wera produces normally. And the German Tool Reviews guy made a good point. He said, this is great because it would probably work with bit holders, bits from other manufacturers, and you could have maybe their bits plus Wera's holder, and you'd have a pretty good setup. So this is pretty interesting, and this is why I picked this up, and I'm actually pretty happy about it because I've been hunting for this, and I've gone so far as to ask KC Tool and other people, and they're like, Wera doesn't make this normally. They probably won't make it again, or if they do, it'll be a special again. And here it is, it's a special. So the other thing, of course, is if you go look for these bits, you will not find them. They don't exist in Wera's catalog. You'll only see Half Moon, and you'll only see their HIOS bits, which I'm sure are fine, but they're very proprietary, and they seem to be somewhat expensive compared to, say, these. I mean, like, for example, you could probably go and find cheap bits from Taiwan or China or whatnot. I'm not saying you should do that, but you could do that and they would work with the standard 4mm bit holder. So in the end, the point is this thing is very unique and is sought after a bunch. Now I'm not going to go into it any more about this because I'm going to have a video separately about 4mm bit holders, and then I'm also going to probably talk about regular. This is a regular 1/4 inch hex size bit holder. We're going to talk about it some other time. So let's get back to this. Sorry for the long diversion, but that's the motivation for me, at least, for buying this. So anyway, let's get back to it. As you can tell, we have this wonderful little bit holder. You have your two Phillips, you have two Torx, you have two hex, and you have two slotted. Of course, you have the holder, and it fits in like so. If I can get it in there, it's kind of a tight fit. And this, of course, is part of it. And then you have this tiny hex bit. It's the 813, and I'm not sure if this is available. I think it is. I think it's one they include in the belt kit that's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. That's really nice. The bit, I think it's the tool check, I think has one of these, as well as the tiny ratchet. And then they have these. Now these are interesting. This is these 5 bits are these are 851. Well, these are 851. These are 855, and this is the 800 series. Now these are power bits, of course, and then the other thing they are is their bitorsion bits, which I won't bore you with the details on those, but basically you can go read Wera's site. They have a nice description about what's involved with them, why they're supposedly supposed to be better. They're meant for power tool usage. They don't really say they're meant for impact, but yeah, they're probably okay with it. Now these are 50 millimeters long, basically 2-inch power bits. They're standard hex. You know, I'm sure they're going to fit in pretty well. Let's see, I think there's going to be, yeah, this is that magnetic bit holder, so it'll hold it pretty nice. And I'm wondering if I have something else I can hit. Yeah, it's got a little bit of transfer. So to explain what I mean by that, well, here, I'll pull another bit. This is a Wera bit from this is one of the Zyclops. In fact, this is the 1/4 inch Zyclops set. Like I said, I didn't really need this, but I was really curious about this holder, and that's why I bought it. So yeah, it's got pretty good. See, it's picking it up pretty well. So that's also nice that it's got a magnet in there. And if you compare these bits, this is just a standard power bit. The form is still the same, but these aren't, I don't think these are bitorsion. I'd have to look them up, but I'm pretty sure they're not. Now, one thing that's different, of course, is and I've noticed Wera started doing this with some of these sets, is they've started marking them. So this is, you know, is a number 1 size, which is really nice. That's very handy. You don't have to go and actually look at the tiny text, which I can't even see without a magnifying glass on the side of the bit. And then I have a VHA bit. These are some power bits they have. You know, again, the format is pretty similar. I don't really expect it'll be that much different since most of these are made to a specific, in terms of size, is made to a spec. So, you know, it's pretty small, but it fits pretty good in my hand. I don't really have a problem with it. Not really much else to say about these. Like I said, you should really go and check out Wera's site because they cover this in great depth and detail. You know, I guess the utility for this is alright. I mean, I don't really have much use for Posi-Drive, but yeah, you know, it's not a bad thing, I guess. And, you know, I mean, it's moderately compact set. I mean, well, I guess you could say it's very compact, but it's a real question about the utility, I guess, for, you know, most people. This is kind of more meant, you know, I'd say probably something that, I guess if you're going to go somewhere and work on maybe some computing or electronics, like some small electronics, you know, maybe you're going to crack open a computer, this might be handy, I guess, in terms of a set. You know, it's not bad, but for me, you know, the real buy is this. This is what I really wanted, and I'm actually pleased I've got it. So in that regard, I'm very happy with it. And then I'm pretty sure these, you know, let's see, they're pretty, yeah, it's got a magnet too, which I would expect. See how strong the magnet is on this. See if we can pick it up. Yeah, it's pretty good. It can pick it up. Can't really see it, but it can hold this bit. So that's a nice plus. Which is another reason why this, at least from what I can tell, this bit holder is very, micro bit holder is very handy. Of course, it's got a spinner on the end, and then you've got your classic, well-known at this point, Wera pattern and shape. So that's part of the reason why it's such a big plus. Anyway, I think that's about all I'm going to talk about with this. I picked it up for about, like I said, 49 bucks, roughly. I think it was a little more. It's all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to go and talk about bits later on in another video. Both micro bits, and then I'm also going to talk about these holders, which is going to be kind of an interesting thing, because I've been hunting for a good bit holder for some bits I have, and this is probably going to be number one, but we're going to have a comparison about that, and that'll be in another video. But anyway, that's all I really have to say about this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want, of course, you can subscribe and sign up for notifications, like, dislike, make a comment, don't make one. But hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.